So I spent a good couple hours today down a nice rabbit hole of the Wonderland murders.
Wonderland?
Yeah, John Holmes murders. He was packing some heat, that fella.
So they say.
Oh, he was.
Okay.
There's a couple videos out there.
Yeah.
Like he looked like Donald Sutherland.
Yeah. He had the 70s mustache.
And the hair. He looked like Donald Sutherland. I mean, but like it's just amazing that he blew through all his cash because he was what do you call it? Freebase.
Happens.
That seems like an inefficient way to use your cocaine because you're melting it, cooking it down.
Maybe it's better high. I don't know.
They said he was going through. He blew through $3 million in like a year.
Oof.
Just on drugs. Or what? I think they said the equivalent of $3 million.
The guy from Three Dog Night, the singer.
Oh yeah.
Had a big old habit.
Mm-hmm. That's a big one.
And he carried around $1 million in a suitcase and was in some crack den or something like that, and somebody obviously stole it.
Wow.
$1 million. Boom. Done.
Gone.
Yeah. A douche.
Yeah. Once again, why aren't there handlers? Like, well, there's no handlers on a porn guy, John Holmes. But like that guy.
Or there's many.
Yeah. There's have a few hands.
Yeah.
Like those horses, you know, they step.
Yeah. They do that thing.
Yeah.
Like who's going to bat first
Yeah.
on his cock.
Holy shit. That was a horn. And supposedly he was only operating at like 85%. Like, it never got the full volume.
Yeah, I hear that.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
The joke was always that you'd pass out before you got hard on because of the size of the thing.
Yeah. Getting woozy.
Yeah. But it's amazing how, like, most of those guys in Boogie Nights, how they were, that was the story, basically.
Yeah.
And how those guys were portrayed. Pretty kind of accurate. Like, what started that whole thing was he came up with an idea. Like, he used to hang out with these guys in the Wonderland apartment. It was like what's the avenue that the apartment called? And they were all junkies. And so he used to run drugs for them to get free cocaine. But he was all messed up. And he had an underage girlfriend. It was a whole fucking scene. But then he used to work with another dude who was like better off, I guess his name was Nash.
Okay.
And he was like, lived in a really nice place. He made money the right way, but then he was dealing a lot of drugs. So he came up with the idea to rob that guy. And like, he like left the door open. So he never got convicted of the crime. But so then these junkies, he goes and tries to wakes them up. They go there, they rob this guy, but they don't kill him or his bodyguard. They take like 1,000 pounds of coke, 5,000 Quaaludes. Like they take all in money, right?
Yeah.
And they end up giving John Holmes like $3,000. They're supposed to give him 25%. Of course, they cut him out, right? So
Sure.
So that dumbass is walking around with one of the guy's rings on, and the guy's bodyguard spotted him, drags him back to the other guy, and then they torture him for a while, get the info that these assholes on the Wonderland are the ones who robbed them.
Right.
So then they get a posse over at like 4 a.m, and they bring him, and they make him supposedly help kill these people. Like they forced him to bludgeon these people to death. Like they piped these people. Like 4 of them. No guns. Hammers and pipes.
Oof.
But he was never convicted. I mean, he lost the game anyway with the old AIDS, but he was never convicted. I don't think the other guy was ever convicted. Nobody was ever convicted of it. So it's like an unsolved murder still.
Convicted by life.
Yeah, they caught him. Mother Nature got him.
It got to him. Yeah.
I mean, and who knows who
Mama knows best.
And who knows who he infected on the way, because he did like some movies afterwards. Didn't tell anybody. He had the HIV. Not good.
No, it's a weird scene.
Yeah. Like his first, but they were like...
You think there are any well-adjusted folks in porn?
Sure.
Just throwing it out there.
A lot of nursing students, like all the strippers.
If you had a percentage
of people who became adjusted or were adjusted,
who are
clear-headed the whole way through,
sure,
0.5%.
That little, huh?
I think so. You?
All right. I'm gonna say 12%.
Wow.
That's right.
I think directors maybe more than actors.
No,
Production
I think
people,
they're all
You think
per
they're all
folks. Maybe not like the grips on the set. They
Right.
just want to get paid.
Right.
Right. And maybe they're like, maybe somebody will blow me.
right?
But-
Bonus, right.
I think they're just going for cash. But I think the directors to want to direct porn is kind of weird. Because I don't think there's like I don't know.
But there was
a famous porn director, right?
I
It's
doubt it,
it's
right.
some guy holding the camera 2 inches away from your balls. Like he's like up your,
right.
basically up your ass. So you can see the balls going into the vagina. Well, that doesn't work.
If that happens,
But you know what I'm saying.
if that happens,
You know what I'm saying.
Tell-
There's like, you're up close and personal.
right.
You're like in the guy's ass, pretty much. Like,
I would have Bugs Bunny come out like the Looney Tunes.
beep, beep.
That's all, folks. But there was a point though when I was reading all this horse shit that there was like a golden age where there was not golden showers,
The golden age of porn.
where there was like elegance is the word.
Okay.
It still wasn't accepted, but like Deep Throat and Behind the Green Door,
Right.
that was supposed to be like there was
They
like
tried to make more of a movie.
an
out of
art
it.
film
Right.
that happened to have sex in it.
Yeah.
And
Well, Deep Throat was in movie theaters.
right, so was Behind the Green Door,
Yeah.
and so was the Tracy Lords one,
I don't know that one. But
which is don't you remember her whole story?
yeah, she
She
was
was
like,
underage.
Yeah.
People were watching kiddie porn and
Yeah.
didn't know it 'cause she lied. But
right.
what was the one Debbie Does Dallas? I don't know. Which one
I
was
don't
she
think
in?
that was
no,
her.
I can't remember which one she was in.
Doesn't matter. But
But
yeah, those were
they try to
like
make a mark for it.
legitimate movies
Right,
that just had sex scenes in them.
sure.
So it was just pushing it back. It wasn't really a porn yet.
It was pornography, but not rated X. It was like weird. It was like
But
a
not-
non-rated thing.
But not like specific.
Right. Donkey
Just-
fucking
Right.
gangbangs, all that shit.
No, I mean specifically made just for sex. It was
Right.
like supposed to be a movie with sex scenes in it, right?
Right, but heavy sex scenes, right?
Sure.
Heavier
Like
than
real.
like a regular movie, right?
The real deal.
Right. Now his whole
He's
his
just fucking with everything today.
boat's just falling off, kind of to the
That's
edge.
gonna fall. The fucking chair's gonna break
Well,
out from under you.
Yeah, let's hope.
I'm
Same
sorry,
stuff.
that was 2 weeks ago.
A few weeks ago when that was happening.
Fourth wall.
But he started out in stag films, which you start learning, you start reading like with just 6-minute loops of him banging chicks and dudes, and he would get paid $30,
Yeah,
and then some guy would be selling out of the back of his car like, "Hey kid, give me a dirty movie."
yeah.
That's how, Super 8s or whatever. That's how he made it, and that was highly illegal at the time.
But the movie was kind of like that, right?
Yeah,
But it was more he was
it was when it
Just-
started turning into
just jerking it for guys in the front of a pickup or something.
right,
like that.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff. I think when he was doing that stuff, he was a little more down on his luck because of the drugs and all
Yeah,
that.
you could say that.
So, I mean, I still would find 10% to be a high number of regular people. Like, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to do this, and get out. I need
I
the
think-
money.
I think a lot of the I think that a lot of people in porn try to pretend that's their personality
Right.
and they're acting it, but they're really fucked up.
I think this modern pornography, like these OnlyFans broads and all that, I mean, they're still maladjusted.
Yeah.
Still something wrong, right? You want to, show your asshole on camera for $5 a month or whatever. They're making money.
Yeah, because you still got a family, right?
You think.
Friends and
Yeah.
like, why would you want people to like
Right.
be like, hey,
You bring in your kid.
there's John's asshole again?
Great.
Oh, we're inviting asshole guy out to dinner.
Yeah, right. Or the other side. You're taking your kid to elementary school, and that gym teacher's like,
Hey. I've seen your asshole.
yeah,
7 days this week.
yeah, right.
I'm a big fan.
That's what your face looks like. So, I mean, yeah, but it was just amazing that this guy could have been, I guess, if he didn't turn to drugs, I'm sure everybody did drug, but
Meaning Holmes.
yeah, he could have been he could have retired on top, right? He could have been the champ.
Yeah.
He could have been the Rocky Marciano of pornography. He could have been the Elvis Presley of pornography.
Oh shit, kid.
He was the king.
The king.
But nope, just like the king, no one stopped him.
No. They all let the greats fall.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Jealousy?
You think so? Wouldn't you be like, hey, that's the way I make money? Let me tighten that up. Or do they get a sense of
Invincibility?
dumbassery
Mhm.
about themselves?
Sure.
Like they think it's all gonna work out.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I mean, how do you? I don't know.
Right.
Right? Like if you look at Elvis, people didn't know shit about addiction back then, no, right?
But he had a pile of yes men that were on the payroll.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're it's just a
if you-
weird thing to be a yes man. Like,
Right.
don't do they not see it, or are they deliberately pretending they don't see it just to keep the money coming in?
I think they see it, but they don't say anything because they're afraid to lose that easy paycheck. If you're getting paid
Meaning, if you're the guy that says, Elvis, you look like shit,
you're fired.
you're fired.
Yeah. Meanwhile, your gravy train is, I got to go put tinfoil on his window so he can get some rest because he's hopped up on drugs. I know he's hopped up on drugs. I mean, look,
Wouldn't that make him like a baked potato?
you would think, right?
Yeah.
Just like a
He's
Jiffy
Jiffy.
Pop. I mean, same thing. Probably everybody who heard the record 1984 by Van Halen, everybody was afraid to probably tell Eddie, there's no real bass in this. This sounds weird mix, right?
Yeah.
Get out. Hey, you, get out.
Right.
You know, so it's like the gravy train's there. You got, and if all of them do it, it's an intervention. It becomes something probably bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wonder if his mom was alive because he loved his mom so much. You know, the Colonel's not going to say nothing because that's the gravy train, right? Just pump him out.
Well, he was fucked up in his own right.
Sure.
So I don't think he would have said anything. Anyway, I'm saying there's got to be somebody, you would think there would be somebody, like a normal person in the crew,
Which would say, dude.
that would say, yeah, this. I like getting the money, but,
Right.
you know,
I'll-
it doesn't, the money stops if he dies, right?
Right.
So let's have him not die.
I agree.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what I don't get. If you were the Colonel, who's probably all money driven, right?
Sure.
He didn't really have camera time or anything like that, so he wasn't interested in that. He just
No.
wanted cash.
Right.
Doesn't he say the money's going to dry up if this guy dies? Why don't I fucking take care of this?
And then I think sometimes they think the money's going to stop if we stop. You know what I mean? They gave him the scare when Elvis went in the army. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like the Colonel saying to myself, okay, so I say to Elvis, you got a problem? You got to go to rehab for a year. Is Elvis forgotten about when he comes out, or is he beloved? You know what I mean? Is he afraid? He's afraid to take that chance. So we're just going to keep this thing going. You know what I mean? Maybe it'll right itself. I mean, like
He could have done one of those beach movies from the fucking rehab.
for the I agree. Right around
Right?
the
It's
pool.
probably in Malibu anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, yeah. Annette Funicello and Elvis.
do you
With
think?
needles hanging out of their arms.
Wake up, Elvis.
They're all tan except for one line here.
The dots. You see the dots in the sunburn?
the fucking the hypodermic block the sun.
Yeah.
So they did.
Do you think those guys lost all their good friends, like in there when the good, like people who aren't part of the tribe, right? You know, aren't the yes men? Like a good friend. Hey, Elvis, man, you are way. You know, John Holmes, you are way gone.
Right.
Let's stop. I'm not. You know, what I mean, I'm not because I'm not benefiting by telling you this. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm your friend. You should be alive. You know what I mean? Or is it that you're so fucked up? Yeah, you're not on my side.
Well,
You're
you
against
bring
me.
up a good point there, because if they're fucked up 24/7, you're not going to get the real person. If you got the real person, if they sobered up for whatever,
A day.
a day or something, then maybe you could reach them. But
Right.
you'd have to be there at that time, and it would probably be bad anyway because they'd be
Withdrawn.
withdrawn.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think though. Yeah, like I said, the industry lose their cash cow, right? But
That's also another thing I don't get.
yeah,
Why wouldn't the record industries and be
Because-
like
Because they know there's another one coming.
another Elvis?
And the Beatles came and steamrollered, right?
Yeah, but I don't know who Elvis was
Who's the heir apparent to Elvis?
No.
Oh.
Whatever his label was.
I don't know. Stax?
RCA. Let's call it RCA.
Yeah.
Right back then. But the Beatles were Apple, right?
Sure.
EMI,
EMI.
right? So it doesn't do any good for RCA.
Right. I know what you're saying. No, yeah, right.
Like, why wouldn't you? If that's your guy, that's the biggest draw you got.
Right.
Why wouldn't you want to keep that one alive? Because you know there's a EMI guy coming around the corner, or CBS or whoever had somebody at the time.
But also at the time, who was right behind Elvis? You know what I mean? Who they're like, well, if Elvis goes, we got the next guy coming, right? I don't know. I don't know any of that.
Who was
one.
that?
Right. I don't know.
I mean, think about it. Who was around then?
After Elvis, the 70s?
I mean, Elvis.
It was all
It was
show
the
people.
50s, right? But the 50s guys were already known before Elvis.
Right.
Elvis was like second wave, right?
Junkie Elvis was late
The
60s, right?
first
Mid 60s, late 60s.
first guys were the Jerry Lees and the I'm blanking on names, man.
Who would have accepted Jerry Lee and the other guy? You know that other guy?
Jerry Lee and the two black guys,
Right.
Chuck
Chuck
Berry,
Berry?
and Little Richard.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, so they were first, then Elvis, and then the 60s came and Elvis kind of dipped out a little bit, right?
Well, yeah,
'Cause
he
the-
did
the-
the comeback special. 60s.
Right, but the
And they did
the
Vegas.
sign of the times split because of the Beatles and the Stones, right?
The hippies, right?
And then the hippie movement and all that shit.
And he went to Vegas and did Vegas shows
So
like
he-
Sinatra and those guys.
Right.
And then late 60s is when he was...
So maybe at that point he's not selling the same amount of albums, so they don't give a fuck because he's just a Vegas act.
Right, but he was
So
still,
his money's coming from performance
but he was still selling.
and merch. Were they big on merch in those
Oh,
days?
yeah. Merch. He was still selling a lot of records back then, too. Like, granted, none of them were his. Like, none of the songs were his. You know, he sang songs.
Right.
He never wrote a song. No, one song is credited to Elvis. I don't believe there's one. The Hound Dog, all those songs were written.
Same people?
No, different people. Like, he did all the gospel. That wasn't his. And
Yeah,
then
well, that was already...
a couple of his Jailhouse Rock and all them weren't his. Jailhouse Rock's a frightening song if you listen to the words. It's kind of gee. There's a lot of gee references in there.
Yeah, all right, so he didn't have...
Right. So he was making...
a guy like a Bernie Taupin or what was the guy that wrote for Sinatra?
More like Bernie Taupin, am I right?
Hey,
yo.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
Sinatra had
Had the other guy. The other Jewish guy.
Jeff Bezos.
No.
Damn it.
But if they're tapping, you know,
Oh, what's his name?
it's got a rocket like a...
Not the dude who did all. Not the Hallelujah guy.
It doesn't even matter.
Hal Leonard.
No. No, he was a composer, this
Right.
guy.
I know
Yeah.
his name. But I don't know. Who he is.
Doesn't matter.
Right. So that was like, you know, but so somewhere in there they had Barry Manilow. They had all this stuff that was still pushing up behind Elvis. You know what I mean? The wave was changing. The music
Right.
was changing.
Streisand.
Right. Those are single acts.
In the pop
right.
zone.
So Elvis, so they figured, I guess they could have got help for him. They couldn't, like he couldn't even leave the country. Like the Colonel couldn't leave the country, so he couldn't leave the country. It was odd. Like if he could
But
have.
he didn't need to, right?
No, but because the Colonel was all fugazi with his information, he couldn't get on a plane to go to Europe. Therefore, he didn't book anything or allow Elvis to go
Right.
because he was afraid he would lose him, which is weird.
Why would he lose him?
Like maybe somebody would talk to him over at Apple. EMI.
But he wasn't a record company guy.
No,
he was a
just
manager.
Maybe
He still get a piece. If he got a better deal, that's a bigger piece for him.
right. Unless he
I
didn't.
mean, he still gets his 10 or
20,
whatever, or
30.
15,
Yeah, it was
30,
big.
whatever the fuck it was back then.
like maybe Elvis wasn't that bright.
Maybe
And
he
he
was
said-
just really fucking high.
But yeah,
Those pills.
whatever started it. Right. There would look like there was a time where they could have, like after the comeback special,
Remember you saying that?
they could have stopped it.
Leather suit time, you said.
Right before that, Blue Suit.
Blue suit.
Blue
Okay.
suit Elvis. He was a little chubby, but he wasn't heavy breathing yet.
All right.
It looked like right there they could have stepped in.
Right.
And so let's land a plane for a few weeks. Let's get you cleaned up. You know, let's figure out why you're on so many pills.
A little later, it seemed like if he would cough, a chicken bone would fly out.
He in the leather singing. Sound like Jabba the Hutt. Little Darth Vader in there.
How was that? Oh shit! Do you ever hear that video where the backup singer is doing this kind of woo, and he starts cracking up
No.
on stage? He's so high, he's laughing at it.
Wow.
Because in like the '60s, they had those really weird backing vocals.
Sure.
like
Oohs and ahs and-
on the real poppy stuff, it was like really high, super white sounding backing vocals.
And he's
right?
just laughing away.
He is dying laughing. He's so high. It's great.
Whoops.
Yeah.
And he has a drummer who has every drum in the world. Like we were watching the special. Had like 90 drums on stage.
He's Terry Bozier.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. I don't know his name. I'm sure drummers know his name, but like his band was great. Like, and from all reports, he wasn't just like he didn't just show up like I don't know, don't sound right. He would actually direct and help music direct. You know what I mean? Like he knew what he
Yeah.
wanted and stuff like that.
Sure.
So, I mean, he's no John Holmes. He couldn't conduct with that wand. he could swing the wand.
If John Holmes was out in front of the New York Philharmonic, just waving his brick around,
Just tapping on the thing.
oboes,
Just fucking.
winds. That would be great.
I wonder if Milton Berle's cock was as big as John Holmes. They always say
They
he had a big
always,
one.
they always say Uncle Milty was hung.
They always talk about that one joke when they said they had that dick measuring contest, and I forget who it was with. And the guy's like, he goes, "You take your dick out. I'll just take out enough to win." I was like, "That's a great joke."
That's awesome.
So, or Rodney, right? Rodney had a big.
Is that what they
They
say?
say.
Crazy.
You see,
Is that why he wore a robe all the
Yes.
time?
let that thing swing. So you could picture like you picture like I said, like that guy. He could have maybe went out on top if it wasn't for drugs, but if it wasn't for the drugs, we wouldn't have the stories.
Right.
He'd just been another face in the crowd with a humongous dick. Or whatever. He'd be a humongous dick attached to a guy. Probably. More than known.
Yeah. Or in the case of Rodney, a dick with a humongous face.
They're like all Macy's Day floats. They're all disproportionate. What's going on?
Like birthday balloons.
Oh, you know, like when a guy twists the thing? He's
Yeah.
making a big, like a chihuahua. John Holmes
The
Day.
air goes there.
Oh, man. Speaking of big dicks.
Whoa.
We're at the end of this thing almost, but
I don't think so.
do you remember as a kid, before you knew anything,
Big dicks, of course. That was my entire childhood.
right? Well, that's Bible camp, right? I get it.
Right.
But don't you remember, like, before the internet, obviously, but when we were kids, every place you went, the expert was a dick. Like, you went to a guitar store as a kid, the guy there was a dick.
There were a lot of
You went to
dickheads
Radio Shack, that guy was a dick.
and know-it-all assholes.
Yeah. The mechanic, you go to buy an auto part?
It's not over.
No?
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I'm going to a wedding next month, so I decided
The one overseas, out of country?
no.
No? Don't you have one out of country?
No.
Talked about one you were going at. Talking about Barbados or something? Or?
No, that's for somebody's 20th anniversary.
Oh, okay. So it's not actual wedding.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to that. That's expensive as shit. It's
Yeah.
a St. Lucia thing.
Yeah, there you go. Pass. Anyway,
They're beach people. I'm not.
look at you. You'll explode.
Look at me.
You'll
What
be
am
a
I gonna
suit-
do? What am I gonna do on the
You'll be
beach?
red, and you look like what's his name?
I'll be the asshole who's got to bring an umbrella everywhere.
What was that one where the guy was always on fire? Nicolas Cage, not Daredevil.
Ghost Rider?
Yeah, you'll be on fire with your tie on.
I was thinking of Mr. Green Christmas.
Heat miser
The Heat Miser, yeah.
is on fire the whole time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the wedding.
So I went to go get a suit.
Okay.
I walk in, I tell the guy the size that I've been forever. I know what it is, right?
Right.
He goes, No, you're blah, blah, blah. Way off. He's
Was he?
fucking way off. Way off. And then he measures me and is even further off. Not even measures me. He gives me coats, right?
and they're all big, right?
So
Or
I guess if I say I'm whatever,
36.
40 regular,
Okay.
right? And he's like, "No, you're like a 36 extra short," or so. I'm like,
Did they change the measurements?
"Yeah, what did my chest sink in?
Yeah.
You know, what are you talking about?" And I put it on, and it ended up being like a 44 regular or something, right? Like it got bigger, right? I was like, it's just a condescending douche.
So they're
Just
still out there.
yeah, they're everywhere, man.
Because
They're everywhere.
Remember when you're first driving, right? And so you're driving cars that you can fix on your own, and you would go to the car place. And
Yeah,
like,
you used to be able to, sure.
hey, I need an alternator for my.
And you would get those the catalogs that had the directions
God.
to fix everything.
Yeah. So
What were those things called? Do you remember?
I know what you're talking about. Not
It was a book,
right.
basically.
I was going
told
to
you how
say
to
Keurig, but that's the coffee.
told you how to
pot.
fix everything on a car.
Right.
Now you can't fix shit.
But so you go to the place and you're like, hey man, I need an alternator for a 74 Nova, 6-cylinder, 4-cylinder,
Right.
4-cylinder, 2.3 liter, 3.9 liter. I don't know. It's right there. It's dying outside. What? Can you-
Well, I mean, it's not his fault that it's
But-
specific to
but they're very.
It's the way they say it, yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just say, what do you got?
Yeah.
It's out there. That's what I got. I got that thing. It's you see that thing shaking out there because it's dying. That's
Right.
what I need the part for.
Right.
But same thing when you go to a music store. Hey, you're 16. Can I try that? You try that. I don't know what you're doing. Try that one. I don't want that one.
Yeah.
I want that one.
Yeah.
No, it's too much guitar for you.
Yeah. I'd be like, hey, I was thinking about getting these two cabinets. They're like, are you running them in parallel or series? And I was like, I don't know, dude. I'm like 15. What's that
Right.
mean?
I'm gonna plug them in.
What's that mean?
Can they go loud?
Yeah.
Because I want to play loud.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean by that?
Yeah. You're like,
And then they look at you like, silly child, you don't know. I'm fucking 15 years old.
teach me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah. Well, let's examine the whole situation here. Wait, you're 38 working in a music store for minimum wage.
I'm 15 and my mom's out in the car.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Or like the guy who could fix copiers or the computer guy for work.
Yeah.
Big dick.
There's always one.
There's your problem. Okay, what was it?
You had a paper jam.
Yeah, thanks, pal.
Out of ink.
Yeah. So with that, stop being a dick. Or have one like John Holmes. Either way.
Look, if you don't have the big dick, don't swing it.
Don't be one.
That's it.
Right.
TOT!
See ya.